Welcome to the Players Ball Podcast, where we highlight the top players in the game. Today's episode is sponsored by the Player Circle, your source for insider knowledge on basketball recruiting. All my college coaches and scouts tap in to keep up with the latest recruiting news and stats. All my college recruits tap in to get your game in front of thousands of college coaches. Today we got a special guest in the building. We're here with the one and only Antonio Big 12, well, we'll get to the Big 12 later, Coleman.
What it do?
Played pro NFL for almost a decade. Bills, Giants, Cardinals. Was the star standout at Auburn University. Tigers.
Yes, sir.
And now you're the defensive coordinator at Williamson High School. Excited to have you on the show, my brother.
Man, you know I appreciate you having me, brother.
We also have Fandoms Anonymous in the building today.
What's going on?
I'm glad Malcolm.
We here. Let's do it.
You want to plug your
Absolutely, man. Fandoms Anonymous all over social media. You catch us on YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok. We here, man. We here.
For sure. Well, let's get this thing started. Antonio, talk to us about your NFL journey, bro. You know, some of the steps it took to get to the NFL. I remember one time I was in the room. I don't want to name drop and just like I'm flexing, but I was I don't want to name drop, but I was in the room with a bunch of people with money, and one thing I asked them, I said, what were some of the steps you took to get to becoming a millionaire? You know, just you don't have to tell me where the money is. Just tell me some of the sacrifices you made, some of the things you took. So for a kid that's out there right now who don't know anything about going to the NFL, tell to them about your journey, some of the steps you've taken in your career to get to where you're at, and some of the accomplishments that you've made.
Well, man, it's a little bit different for me. Growing up in the projects and mom not working, dad working a job, 5 kids in the 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
So it was different for me. I use my pain, for purpose.
Yeah.
So basically everything I went through, it was motivation for me to get out of the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about college. I played football, Loretha.
Yep.
She coached me. I played at Trinity Garden Park before I went to RV. And I really didn't know much about recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know about college. I didn't know you can get scholarships. That's just how lost I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was just playing for a love for the game.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban happened to come by when he was recruiting Jamarcus.
Okay.
And, he saw my film.
Jamarcus Russell, we talking about. Okay.
He was recruiting Jamarcus Russell, and he saw my film, and he's like, man, like, this kid can ball.
Okay.
I remember standing outside on Williamson football field playing catch with Nick Saban. We just throwing the ball back and forth. So
playing catch with Nick Saban?
Playing catch with Nick Saban like LSU.
That's major.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a dream come true for me to understand that, man, I can go to school for free, I can get an education, I can get a degree, and I can do what I've been doing since I was 4, and that's play football. That's the easy part for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I just took what I can get, man, and I always kept my head down. I didn't get in any trouble.
Yep.
I played every sport it was to stay out of the projects, to stay out of the bricks, man. And, God blessed me to get to Auburn, and I balled out, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a little bit of my journey.
I see you on Facebook, Swole, hitting the weights. You know what I mean? What's the development, in terms of going from high school to college? Like, what did you have to add to your game? You saw as soon as I got on the college campus, oh, these guys are bigger, stronger, faster. What do I need to add to my game so I can get on the field and make an instant impact?
Well, it had to be a mental transition at first.
Okay.
Everything is mental. When you get to college, man, your mom's not waking you up. Like, I got to get up.
Yeah.
If I don't get up, I get in trouble.
Yeah.
We had to take public speaking classes.
Yep.
I didn't know how to speak, sit in front of camera and talk.
Yeah.
And every time I talk, it's
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to take public speaking classes. So it's a lot that you had to learn mentally before you even can develop yourself physically. Now, the physical part, I was 185, 190.
Mm-hmm.
A defensive end in college, 250, 260.
Heavy.
So I go up in the end of May, June, I'm 185, 190. In 2 months, I'm 245. You get what I'm saying? And I'm really putting it on, but it just goes to show you what you can do, whatever you put your mind to.
Mm-hmm.
I worked hard the whole summer, workouts, eating right, protein. I did everything that they asked me to do, and it really paid off for me. That's why I'm so successful.
Okay.
Talk to him.
So I read somewhere that while you were at Auburn, you just hit a hot streak and you made Player of the Week. What game was it that you made Player of the Week on?
Man, it was a few. I know I made it Mississippi State game.
Talk to him.
It was a few. I mean, because I led the SEC 2 years in a row in sacks.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State. You know, I just found a niche that, and I had my mindset was totally different than guys and cats that I was going up against. You know, I can't go back to Mobile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I made it this far. No, I can't turn around and go back.
You got to keep going forward.
Yeah, so I'm going to go forward. So anybody that's in front of me, like, it's a problem. Like, that was just my mindset.
Yeah. So now you know I'm winning, you know, player of the week in the SEC. Maybe I got the potential to play pro. So I want to talk about the 2010 draft class. This is something I always want to talk to you about because it's loaded. Was it Eric Thomas? He was in it.
Man, it was so many people.
Name like 2 or 3 people that just top.
Man, I
top
came
players.
out with Eric Berry, Rolando McClain, Javid Best, Monterio Hardesty. Like all these guys that I'm naming were first rounders. Like and I trained with all of these guys. Every last one of these guys went first round. So I mean, you talk about a draft class that was loaded, and I trained with the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? That was a life changer too, man. Like I'm from Mobile. I'm going down to train in Miami. I ain't never been to Miami. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, all of you work hard, and what you get is what you work hard for.
Yeah, for sure. So now you know you belong. You signed as a free agent with the Buffalo Bills. Okay. What's it like being a Southern Bama boy, Bama raised boy, and going to live in New York in that cold? Because I went to school in right outside of Chicago, Eastern Illinois, 2-3 hours outside of Chicago, and it was painful for me. Man. The snot in my nose used to dry up. I mean, used to freeze up. Tear ducts freeze up going to class. So you got to really it tests your motivation. You working out in the sun, but now you're doing it in the snow. What's it like going from playing in the sun and going up to New York and playing in that snow?
Different, man. The cold, man. You talking about cold? It would be weeks that they have whiteouts, and what I mean by a whiteout is it'll snow and you won't see the sun for a month. Oh yeah. So you talk about being depressed. Like everything about it was depressing. But I done made it to this level. I got to prove myself all over again. You know, and this time it's the same mindset with me. Like, man, if I don't make it in this, I can't go back to Auburn. I got to go out in the regular world and get a regular job.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer for me. Like whoever lined up in front of me, like they about to get this business.
You got to get that money. You got to get that money.
You know what I'm talking about? So
sure.
I mean, that was just a mindset, man.
Yeah. So now you're a coach. You're on the other side of it now. You're over here with me. Welcome to the club.
Man,
talk to me about some of your favorite coaches that you played for and mentors. Shout out a couple of those guys.
Well, I mean, it starts from Loretha, Carl Jackson. Carl Buckethead, everybody know him as Buckethead. He helped me along the way ever since I arrived at R.B. Taylor Plaza.
Okay.
And he's taught me a lot. So after I finished playing, in which I played in the league, then I went to Canada for 3-4 years. I played in Canada. So I got the best of both worlds. After I finished playing, you know, okay, I'm going to go to Williamson and give back. Yeah. Because I made it out. Why not help the next make it out?
Yep.
Right. So I go back to Williamson the first year. I'm the D-line coach. We go 5-5. Okay, cool. I'm just getting my feet wet. Yeah. So have an opportunity to take the defensive coordinator position in which I didn't want it. With talks with Buckethead, like, man, just take it. I got you.
He motivated you.
Yeah, just take it. I got you. I'm like, man.
What held you back from taking it? What made
too much
you
responsibility?
It was too fast and it was too much responsibility for me. You know what I'm saying? And responsibility, I mean, I got to know the defensive line, I got to know the linebackers, and I got to know the DBs. Yeah. I played defensive line and outside linebacker. Man, I don't know nothing about no DBs. So you think I'm about to call a play and I don't know nothing about these DBs?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Man, I mean, it's 12, 14-hour days, me and Buck in the lab, grinding.
Yeah.
So
Cooking it up.
He taught me. And that first year I was a defensive coordinator, man, we were ranked number 3 in the state. The next year we were number 3 in the state. The next year we were number 3 in the state. The next year we was number 4 in the state. You know what I'm saying? So
top 5.
Yeah, I'm top 5 every year. And it's just a testament to all of the great coaches that I've been around, especially in college. I mean, you think about it. I've been around Gene Chizik, which he's the defensive coordinator, associate head coach at North Carolina.
Gene Chizik, okay.
Will Muschamp. Georgia, they just won the national championship.
Yeah.
All right, you get Ted Roof, defensive coordinator right now, Oklahoma. Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, we know who that is.
Head coach of Central Florida.
Yeah.
Man, Paul Rhodes. He's out. I think he's out at Arizona, University of Arizona. So every coach that I've come in contact with is still coaching Power 5 football on a major level, and I still to this day keep in contact with them every day.
Man,
you know, so those guys taught me a lot. I mean, you talk about Muschamp, which was he's still at the top of his game. Gene Chizik won a national championship. I mean, come on, man. All of these guys are well connected and still at the top of their game.
That's big time. That's big time. Yeah. That's big time. Exposure. We have one thing I want to talk to about, and I want to talk to everyone about this. There's something called a digital pivot that we're in right now, where everything is turning digital. Right? How has that affected high school basketball? I'll tell you high school football. I'll tell you on the basketball side, college coaches used to just run in the gym, fill them up, and recruit kids all day. It ain't like that no more. They want to get that game film sent to them. But how is it? How does that affect recruiting on the high school side? Because some kids can slip through the crack. You could have been one of those kids that slipped through the crack, like you said. You got discovered through the Jamarcus thing. How does that digital pivot affect exposure on the high school football side?
Well, it's kind of crazy on the football side because, especially with COVID coming around and coaches trying to recruit, and this is just talking to some college coaches. Like, okay, I can watch the film on them, but now the recruiting game is, no, I want to see this kid. You know, I want to see him play basketball, or I want to come down and check him out in the game. I can see him on film, but what if you see him on film and he look bigger than he is?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He looks faster than he is, but when you see him in person, he's not that big. He's not that fast. So then you kind of wasting a scholarship on the kid that you feel like is not the right size, not the right speed, or the right caliber of what you're trying to recruit. You know, so it's totally different, and the COVID year taught us that. You know, these coaches, they want to come down and see you, man. They want to put their hands on you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's totally different, but in a way, they still watch film too.
Yeah.
If I pop on the film and this kid running for 200-300 yards, and every college coach in the nation want,
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So film can help you out. Also, coaches are coming by the school daily. Can I see his film? Shoot me his film. You know, so I mean, film plays a real big part in it too, especially for the coaches that can't get down to Mobile.
You can just send them a clip. Yeah.
And they want to see the first 10, 15 seconds.
But it depends. You're sending them the clip.
Yeah.
Credibility matters when it comes down to recruiting.
Exactly. You better have a recruiting coordinator and somebody that knows how to handle recruiting and talk to coaches. Because some people, they go out, they make 10, 15-minute highlights. Man, that coach probably going to watch a minute or two of that.
Yeah.
All right, after that, they going on to the next kid. So if you can't stick out within that minute or two, they going to move on to the next kid. It's a big old board.
Yeah.
All right. And that board, where you at on that board, if I don't get this kid that I want, he don't commit and he don't sign, I'm going to go down to the next name under him. And that's how some kids make it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not always going to get the recruit that they want. But I got a backup if I don't get him.
Okay. And they go to what you were saying about everybody sending these clips. You got all these organizations and companies now who are making almost like Facebooks for clips. Go on there, make your profile, put your name, age, where you're from, and then just start uploading all your clips. And then they go there and say, let me look in Alabama in this city and see who was in this school or whatever. And if you got your stuff loaded up, they might hit you up.
Change, man. Especially Twitter. Like,
for sure.
Kids can get on Twitter, add the coaches.
They're sending the clips to the coaches now.
I mean,
that's big.
Twitter is real big for kids right now.
And they can like tag like the NFL people or whatever, and then they'll be like, "Yo, I put my stamp on this guy," and send it to like a coach and everything, and there you go. You got like somebody behind you.
We talked about this last episode with Neil, name, image, and likeness. I encourage kids to clean up their social media. You know, you can't be on there.
Rule number one.
You know, you got to have a clean cut social media. Make sure you're taking all derogatory pictures off of there. You know, it looks presentable for a college or professional coach. We're gonna take you back to a nostalgic moment. I wish I had the dream sound effect here. We're gonna take you back to a nostalgic
back in my
moment.
Younger days.
Your younger days. The 2010 Senior Bowl.
2010.
First of all, how was it? How did it feel to come home and play in front of all those people?
Man, it's crazy because if you think about it, this is the same field I played on in high school.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, so,
yeah.
You know, it felt good to be back home, man, and you know, I not nervous. You know, just doing what I've been doing, and I tell kids that all the time. Like, man, no matter who tell you it's a big game is a big game only before the first snap or the first shot. After the first snap, after the first shot, it's regular football, it's regular basketball.
So what's going on right here? Like, what is
This is a pass rush drill, man.
Okay.
And the Miami Dolphins had my team, which was the South, when I came out. And it's basically one-on-one.
One-on-one.
Like, you know, either
You
it's
against the
or
offensive
me.
lineman, yeah.
It's either you or me, and you know, a lot of the times it was me and not him.
Yeah, because he blew straight past him.
Nah, could you pause it right there, Tech? What was that prayer about, if you don't mind sharing?
Man, and I know they took it out of school, man. Stuff, it's crazy right now, you know, and that's a whole nother topic to touch on. But every time, everything I do, before I hit the field, before I do anything, man, you know, I'm gonna drop down and thank the Lord. You know, when I go to sleep, when I wake up, you know, and that's who got me to where I am, man. Like, you know, I'm gonna have a talk with the man.
Yeah.
You know, and let him know that, you know, please forgive me. You know, but I'm about to get this money, man. And,
Yeah.
you know, that was my mindset, week in and week out, man. And
What was the loudest arena to play in? And we'll go to the NFL next, but in the SEC, what was the loudest arena to play in?
man, I could name 3 off the top of my head.
Give me your top
The
3.
Swamp, which was Florida.
Florida.
Man,
They were louder
crazy.
than LSU?
Man, and it was set up to where we sat down when we came out the field, it was like right next to the fans. Like, so they literally, they in the huddle with you. South Carolina was crazy. South Carolina Gamecocks, man, I mean, they throwing Bud Light bottles, I mean, crazy.
Okay.
LSU,
Death Valley.
yeah,
Death Valley.
man. I
Valley.
mean, crazy. You know, I mean, and it's cool. You get to walk in, you see the real Tiger. You know, I mean, but yeah.
What about
Definitely top
NFL? Was it? Have you played at Arrowhead?
I played at Arrowhead.
Was it
before.
loud?
Arrowhead was crazy.
Okay.
All right. I've been down in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
It's crazy down there.
But you got to think, man, when I'm playing against Tom Brady, Aaron Hernandez, Rakowski, man, that stadium was crazy. You got to think about it. I'm trying to cover these two guys against possibly one of the best quarterbacks they ever do it, man. Like,
I think it's safe to say Brady to go at this
yeah,
point.
I mean, you talk about crazy. Like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You said something about representation, though, like coming back home and playing in Atlanta. I remember I was in the band in high school, went to Bama State, came and then was able to march in Atlanta in a Bama State uniform. And I got everybody that stood behind me in high school was like, bro, you're in a college band. And I was like, yeah, bro,
Yeah.
we here.
Yeah.
We doing this.
Yeah.
It's big, man, and you know, and we got a pipeline. You already know we
And
got a
Auburn,
pipeline.
yeah.
Basketball and football.
Basketball and football.
Yeah, I mean, T-Mar.
Bruce Pearl's over there with the basketball players.
Yeah.
They're ranked 2 in the nation. Number 1 draft pick coming out. He did a good job down there. Shout out to Bruce Pearl.
I mean, number 1 in the nation.
They're number 1 in the nation now?
Number 1. Hey, let me go. Number 1 in the nation right now.
Auburn basketball. Bruce Pearl up there doing good things.
Yeah, man, he's doing big things, and he's truly changed the dynamic with basketball in Auburn, man. And you know, I'm might be up this weekend to catch a game. I think they got Oklahoma.
Okay.
You know, so that game probably gonna jump, man. But it's crazy up there.
Yeah.
They don't sit down, like they stand up the whole basketball game.
What's the toilet paper thing y'all do? What's going on with the because I see people throwing toilet paper all over the place. Talk to us about the toilet paper thing.
It's a big tradition, man. Like after every game we win, they got some trees called Tuma's Corner. Like everybody go downtown, man, and they just roll all the trees downtown. So I mean, it's crazy. It's a tradition that I had to get used to. I knew nothing about, you know. But I mean, after every win, you go downtown and you look, man, and it's crazy. Like you like, man, what's going on? How they gonna get all this toilet paper out the tree? But they had a fire department come spray it down. So, man, it's just a crazy tradition, man. And every college got some type of tradition that they do. You know, we got the Tiger Walk, then we rolled Toomer's Corner.
Now that's what I always wonder, how they got all that down, because I bet it was a man at the house like, God damn, man, I got to go out there and
Get all this tissue.
The fire department come.
Take it down.
I know CVS be happy, like, come on, get the toilet paper here.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap for the Players Ball podcast with my boy Antonio Big 12. Wait, Big 12. We call him Big 12 because he's been the same size since he was 12 years old.
Most people don't know that, man. They be like, well, where you get the Big 12 from? Like, man, look, long story. Man, long story.
He been that size since a jit, man. Since a kid, he been that size. Well, that's a wrap. Players Ball podcast. Fandoms Anonymous. Antonio Coleman.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, brother.
For sure.